What was it like to live in D.C.?
You say, what is it like to live in D.C.?
Mm-hmm.
I was born and raised here, so I grew up in D.C. I had a learning disability when I was a little boy. I'm 67 years old now, and when I was 5 years old, I had a learning disability. I had lead poisoning, and it slowed down my ability to read and write. And I suffered with it all my life, including up to today. I still struggle with reading and writing.
So what was your favorite book that you wrote?
My first book was Little Remy. I actually wrote Little Remy in 2014. And the book is actually about a little fictional boy, and he tells his mom that the kids tease and make fun of him because he can't read and write. The same thing I told my mom. We didn't use the word bullying when I was a kid. We said they picked on me or they teased and made fun of me. So that was my first book, Little Remy.
And what's the biggest thing that you did?
The biggest thing that I thought I did was when I got Little Remy. I have 2 Little Remys now. The biggest thing I thought I did is when I got my books in bookstores, especially Barnes & Noble, since they're nationwide, but having your books in bookstores is not the greatest thing in the world, but I thought that was the biggest thing. So now I think the biggest thing that I did is I wrote a bunch of more books.
And what was it like to not read or write?
It was challenging. Kids would bully me. Like I said, we didn't use bullying when I was a kid, but they would tease me. Even in church when we had to read passages from the Bible, and I struggled with it, and the kids would snicker and make fun of me. So it was rough. And even as an adult, when I worked at Avis Rental Car, I had people would bully me then too.
So tell me about the other books you've written.
Okay. Well, first, in the first book, Little Remy 1, he tells his mom that the kids tease and make fun of him because he can't read and write. She tells him, oh, so they're bullying you. And he asks, what's bullying, Mom? She tells him, when kids are mean to you and call you bad names, that's called bullying. And she goes up to his school, and they start an anti-bullying campaign. They get rid of all the bullies in his school, and he becomes the school hero. But in book 2, Little Remy 2, Show Love and Kindness, Not Hate, he goes back to school in the 4th grade, and he finds out the kids are still getting bullied. And he asks his mom to come back to the school to do another bullying campaign. She tells him, no, this time you do it yourself. Teach kids to show love and kindness, not hate. And the third book I wrote, I Can Mike. I Can Mike are 2 stuffed pups that sit on the back of my sofa, and they come alive in an amazing magical storybook adventure. They tour all over Washington, D.C.
And how can people buy your books?
They can go to my website, and they can buy my books there. They can order it, and I deliver. They can order it online, or I can deliver it to them if they're local here in D.C. And to buy my books, they have to go to my website, which is www.thefriendsofrickdaniels.com.
What advice would you give to kids who want to write books?
Write about something that they cherish, something that they know about, or they can write about something that they don't know about, but write with passion, and they'd be surprised if they can write a book, how far it may go. Even though they may be kids, there are kids out here that have written books. I've read a few myself. So just, if that's their passion, write about it.
Do you have any plans to write more books?
Yes, I do. Little Remy, I mentioned the first one, and Little Remy 2, Show Love and Kindness, Not Hate. There are 10 books in the Little Remy series. And the I Can Mike book that I told you about, there are 20 on paper, 1 in production, 1 on its way to production, and 18 more to go so far. And I'm still writing I Can Mike books every day. I think there'll be a total of about 40 I Can Mike books before I stop.
Thank you for letting me interviewing you today.
thank you for interviewing me. I appreciate it so much, and I hope your fans like my story. Thank you again.
You're welcome.